Dum, 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 dum.
We're back.
Okay. So people listening and watching, they have to refresh their screens to get us again because we had to go off the stream
For 30 seconds or
for
so.
30 seconds. So there you go.
There we go.
We're back.
We're back.
So you were saying about Tom's?
Oh, well, there was a thing on Shark Tank, which there was a girl and her husband that
I love that show.
decided to, it's like a sandal, but it's got different strings, so you can change the strings out for different designs, but theirs are done in Africa, and they produce them there, and basically, instead of, you don't really get a salary or a pay, they just said they'll put you through college, and you can work there and work for them until your college is paid for.
Oh, that's cool.
So they do it, they say, you get a job for us, and we will...
Except what do they live on in the process?
Oh, I'm not sure how it works.
Yeah,
but
that's kind of tough.
Maybe
they get a stipend or
It
something.
still gives them an opportunity that they didn't have otherwise.
Oh, sure.
But she does it there, and then, yeah, I thought that was neat that they help put the girls through college so that they can have better opportunities afterwards.
Right.
But I know it's something to help put them through college anyways. So I thought that was pretty neat. But they're like sandals with tons of different designs.
Well, if anybody wants to participate in that, they have to May 21st, and all you do is go to Instagram, take a picture of bare feet, and put hashtag without shoes, and that will get someone in either this country or other countries, a free pair of shoes. I think it's wonderful. God bless them all. So can we talk a little about Jade Helm?
Absolutely.
Have you heard of Jade Helm?
And that's not a person.
It's not
folks.
a superhero.
No.
Okay, have you heard of it? Okay. They're military exercises.
No relation to Jesse?
Maybe. There are military exercises going on out here in the West, from Texas to Southern California. And the state of Texas believes that it's actually a secret plot to invade them. This is real.
Yeah, this is a real story.
Okay. It starts in July, but the governor there is already going crazy. And what it says here is the supposed Jade Helm 15 conspiracy may be the single stupidest thing to come out of Texas in 20 years. This is from Daily Cause. And for a state that has reliably given us such treasures as Louis Gohmert, Steve Stockman, Ted Cruz, Rick Perry, and George W. Bush himself, that's saying something. It may not even be possible to adequately convey how stupid this story is, because there may not be words in the English language. There may, in fact, be no words in any language, simply because no civilization has yet existed that ever needed to convey a stupidity as deep or as empty-headed as would apply here. It is a stupidity so stupid that we may be able to use it as future measure of the viability of nation-states. If a majority of any definable population is stupid enough to believe this thing, it is evidence that the population has lost the intellectual ability to maintain a government. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has ordered members of the Texas military to monitor federal troops in an upcoming 2-month training exercise planned for the Lone Star State. Jade Helm 15 is the latest in a very, very long series of whimsically titled training exercises conducted by the U.S. military in order to maintain troop readiness, test combat strategies, and otherwise work out the kinks in America's reliably top-notch ability to blow the holy hell out of any nation on earth with a single presidential phone call. This particular one will be a 2-month-long affair meant to simulate special ops in the brutally harsh environment of a third-world desert hellhole, hence the choice of Texas, and also New Mexico and Arizona and Southern California, and Colorado opted out, but I want to say that Utah is in on
So
it.
if I'm understanding correctly, the military is just doing this just to train troops how
Yes.
to survive
Yes.
in the desert, and Texas thinks they're doing it to invade them.
Yes.
Well,
Yes, they think they're going to call
put
martial law once they get in there. Okay?
So now what does Texas have on their guilty conscience that they think?
Well, that's just Texas.
There are a bunch of militias down there.
So
And they think that Texas should be a separate country from the
it will
United States.
feature.
Let them.
I think so too. It will feature some of the nation's most skilled special ops experts, including the Rangers, the Green Berets, and the Navy SEALs. Like all similar operation, it's likely to funnel serious cash in local coffers, but otherwise not likely to have any noticeable impact on state residents, aside from the inconvenience of having to pass lines of camel-painted Humvees on local freeways as troops make their way to and from training grounds. And none of this would merit more than a few stories in local papers had not some of America's singularly stupidest patriots, and they trademarked that term, decided that it was all cunning ruse because Obama and the Muslims and FEMA are all behind it. The announcement follows weeks of growing public outcry over the training event. Super right-wing news websites first circulated an Army document describing the planned exercise, and since then a broad theory of military plans to subdue Texans and institute martial law has emerged. There are internet websites devoted to claiming everything from childhood vaccinations to burrito night at your local community center, and they are in preparation for instituting martial law.
Well, see, that's the thing that I've been finding. I've been getting in a lot of arguments with people on these right-wing news sources because they're very hypocritical. They talk about how our soldiers are fighting for your freedom and they should get paid so much money, more than somebody at McDonald's. But then they think the military is trying to invade them.
Right,
and
exactly.
They're making fun of people who don't believe in vaccines, but now they think that I don't understand.
Because
Make
they're
up your
crazy.
mind.
Hello.
Your mind.
They're crazy.
You've been reading Alex Jones way too much.
No, she's just doing her own thing.
Oh.
Okay, let me just finish this. So at this point, Texas Governor Greg Abbott could have done one of two things. He could ignore the raving morons who were claiming that the military was coming to Texas and to impose martial law and ship off overly patriotic Texans into FEMA camps, possibly via local Walmarts.
I thought FEMA just gave you a house during natural disaster.
No, FEMA's actually got some serious Homeland Security things going on right now with camps around the country and things like that. There's been a lot of conspiracy theories about that. So, and then while ISIS and the Green Beret wage full-scale warfare in the state, because ISIS has a secret military base near the Texas-Mexico border, which is the sort of thing the mainstream press won't tell you, but your average World Meth Daily Online is all over. And apparently the Green Berets and Navy SEALs intentionally lose to ISIS because Obama or something, hence the need to have the first rounded up the true patriots, all of whom will be rousted from their homes just as they are sitting down in the evening to a cool glass of eggshell white semi-gloss house paint. Or the governor could say to himself, this collection of obvious paint drinkers and doorknob lickers has a point. And he could summon up the state's own military forces, because that too is a thing, to monitor whether or not the United States military starts rounding up patriots or digging tunnels under Walmart, just as the paint drinkers had prophesized. And we wouldn't be here if he chose the non-stupid thing now, would we?
What's the old saying?
So he is putting the National Guard out to monitor.
Just because you're paranoid
doesn't mean they're out to get you. They're not out to get you, exactly. So, and then the general who's in charge of the State Guard says, during the training operation, it's important that Texans know their safety, constitutional rights, private property rights, and civil liberties will not be infringed, the governor wrote. I am directing the Texas State Guard to monitor operations in Jade Helmstein. 15. What a bunch of crazy people.
Another thing, speaking of the South, that really got me the other day was down in the South. I think those are the last few states that are really protesting same-sex marriage to the nines. And they came out with this thing that was like deja vu. If I lived in the 1800s, it would be deja vu. They said, we have the right to ban it because it's states' rights. And I'm thinking, states' rights? Wait a minute. When's the last time you did states' rights? Oh, when you wanted to keep slaves.
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
I was like, I love how every time they want to just completely violate somebody's civil liberties, they go, states' rights.
For their own agenda.
Like,
exactly.
oh my gosh, we should have let them secede.
So,
embarrassment to the rest of the country.
Yeah, right? So Ted Cruz, Texas
Lovely
senator,
Ted Cruz, yes,
told Bloomberg at the South Carolina Republican Party's annual convention, we are assured it is a military training exercise. I have no reason to doubt those assurances, but I understand the reason for concern and uncertainty, because when the federal government has not demonstrated itself to be trustworthy in this administration, the natural consequence is that many citizens don't trust what it's saying.
spoken like a true presidential candidate.
Republican, yes, right-wing
Well, where's
conservative.
Ted Cruz from? Doesn't he have like some Puerto Rican descent or something?
Oh, I think he's part Mexican or
Well,
something.
because there's him and there's Marco Rubio, and Sean's like,
Well, Marco
there's two.
Rubio is Cuban.
Is Cuban,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
gonna say
He's from
there's
Florida.
two-
Florida, Cuba.
Yeah.
Texas, Mexico. Is he
What I
really?
was thinking
Okay,
is
but
we have
usually
two
that's how it goes.
Republican candidates now of Hispanic origin, and that might tip the scales a little
It
bit.
might, because you know what?
Now we have those Latino
They're a
voters,
majority. Brown people are outnumber the white and the black now, so
and they're gonna vote for somebody who is more like them. You know what I mean?
you never know.
So we'll see.
But then again, that would be the Republican candidate, not just everybody's candidate. So
Well, yeah, I know. And
Yeah.
so far, I've only heard about Hillary Clinton for the Democratic Party. I feel like we should have more than one choice. So right now, Republicans have 3 people for sure running.
Bernie Sanders now.
Oh, I didn't hear about that. But there's
Oh, yeah.
Mark Rubio, Ted Cruz, and the other guy, the blondie. And then I don't know what his name is. He's blonde. That's all I know. He's very young and blonde.
Rand Paul.
Yeah.
He's not blind.
Yeah, he's kind of blonde, curly hair. No.
No, I know who you're talking about.
Well, here's a nice quote
And then
on
for
this.
Democrat, all we have is Hillary.
Well, no, actually, we've got Bernie Sanders, and he's the one
Okay.
that we want
haven't
to
seen-
see.
yeah, a lot of-
Okay, so here's what Chuck Norris had to say about the
Chuck
whole-
Norris.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Being a Texan, okay, he says the U.S. government says it's just a training exercise, but I'm not sure the term just has any reference to reality when the government uses it, Norris wrote in his column. Whatever Jade Helm 15 actually is, I think it is more than coincidental that the FBI director just confessed in February that the presence of ISIS can be felt in all 50 states of the U.S., and that the Pentagon is suddenly running its biggest military training exercises with every branch of the military across 7 southwestern states. Thank you for that, Chuck.
Hey, he'd know.
Yes, and Walmart issued a statement on Monday
Oh.
dismissing rumors that tunnels were being built by the U.S. military beneath closed stores in an attempt to launch a takeover of Texas. There's no truth to the rumors. I just love the way people think. I just love it. They're so nuts. We have some nutsos in this world, it's for sure. Now, this does, however, harken back to the Draw Muhammad contest that recently was held in Texas
Yeah.
and did result in a terrorist event that supposedly was backed by ISIS because they decide in their infinite wisdom, this is why I'm sure that there is something in the Kool-Aid in Texas that these people are drinking because they cannot be all there. So they go out and they have this event where you're supposed to draw a picture of Muhammad. 200 anti-Islam people in one building at one time, advertising this. It's all over the news. It's all over TV that they're doing this. 2 guys from Phoenix, both of them Muslim and Islam converted people, came down to Texas and tried to shoot the place up and ended up getting killed.
At the same time, it still, even if it's offensive, it is their right.
It's
to do that.
America. You have no right to do this to people, to come down and try to kill them. That's ridiculous. This is still America, folks. These guys shouldn't have been making fun of Muhammad because it's
still freedom of
disrespectful,
speech, and
but
they
they
make
still
fun
have
of
the
us
right
all
to
the
do
time,
it.
and
It's a
they-
freedom. Right.
Over
Absolutely.
in the Middle East, I'm sure they crack jokes at Americans and
They trash
their
Americans
country.
all the time.
exactly.
All the time.
That's why you don't travel with an American passport.
That's right. That's why when you're outside the U.S., you do not
You
say
put
you're an
cannabis
American.
sticker on your backpack.
Hey, I got my passport and it's an American
Yeah, your
passport.
passport is right.
Anyway.
Cannabis is not a crime.
That's right.
That's your passport.
That's my passport.
I have to work at 12 o'clock.
Why?
Yeah,
Get
so
out
get
here.
the heck out of here,
What,
girlfriend.
you got to make a living?
Yeah.
No, soon. We're
Soon,
getting
Mom.
there.
Yeah.
We're getting
I
there.
grow drugs. That's what I do. I grow.
Whoa.
Oh, and I'm a major drug dealer. Can we go into business together?
Yeah. No, all those fraudulent people in one room.
And I'm the accountant
know.
for both
No, I
of
had
you.
somebody
Yeah.
like, Megan couldn't cut it in taxi. Now she's growing marijuana. I'm like, I work 45 hours a week. Thank you very much.
Hello.
I would love to make free money, but it doesn't work. Like
Free
that.
money?
Free money. Well, it's,
Is money free?
for some people it is.
Well, yeah.
No, you have to work. Most
It's
people
like
have to
the-
work for it. It's not
like
free.
the commercials are on TV now where
Brown makes
we're so
free money.
filthy rich that we don't mind spending more money than we need to, or whatever the case may be. Never mind.
Oh, here's another bombshell from the Jade 15.
Oh, God.
There are trains with shackles on them.
Hang on. Thank
The
you,
FEMA
Megan.
trains. Thank Megan.
Talk
Have
to your
a great
boss about
day.
your work schedule, will you? All right. Have
That
a good
is
day.
hilarious. Thanks so much for her. Hey, talk to Pete about the news show,
I just
too.
talked to that. So what are you reading now?
Yeah, Texas Ranger says there are trains with shackles on them in Texas.
Texas
preparing.
Rangers are saying that?
Yes.
I mean, they're somewhat of a bona fide organization.
Yes. This is from redflagnews.com.
Thank
That
God we
gives me
live
a red flag right there.
Thank God we live in Northern California, not
That's why we
Southern.
live here, dear, because we are in the land
So
of peace
do
and
we
freedom.
have dynamite and C4 plastic around
These are human trains.
Yeah, look at them.
Yeah.
Kind of modern looking.
Doesn't look like there's a lot of room in there.
Well, so it's like the old Hitler Nazi.
A letter sent to Dave Hodges at the Common Sense Show, which I'm sure that's an oxymoron, by a concerned Texas Ranger indicates that the government is preparing for a scenario similar to what was described in William Forstchen's recent novella, Day of Wrath, in which ISIS terrorists crossed the southern border of the U.S. and simultaneously attack soft targets across the nation. But the letter doesn't stop there. The Ranger, who has kept his identity private for obvious reasons and makes clear that the scope of Jade Helm is so secret that the internet is not completely clear, says that the JH-15 mission objectives may go much further than preparing for terrorists. And this is one of the people inciting this whole thing. According to the Law Enforcement Insider, there are trains moving throughout Texas, and some of them have been outfitted with shackles, presumably to transport prisoners of some sort. The claim adds further credence to a report about Jade Helm dissident roundups and arrests and widespread martial law declarations following an emergency. Now, this doesn't happen till July, mind you. His letter shed some light on the Walmart store closing, suggesting that at least one may be utilized in a national security capacity as a staging point for the Department of Homeland Security. There is a correlation between closed Walmarts and where they're setting up these command centers. They were showed on a map. An agency that is apparently not trusted by anyone within the Texas Rangers organization is Department of Homeland Security, and this is what they're saying is really being done. So, scary stuff. Personally, I think the Texans are more scary right now than the military. So I think that we all need to just keep our eyes on this whole situation, because we've already had one incident involving ISIS in Texas. And if you ask me, the Texans are drawing ISIS to them by their behavior and by their thumbing their nose at a religion that they have no respect for. And if you ask me, they get what they get. You know, I mean, you get what you ask for in this life. And if you're asking for trouble, you're going to get it. That's just the way it is.
I hate to break up this conversation,
Yes, dear.
but it's time to put on some
I
music.
know that.
Okay,
I'm perfectly aware of the time, dearest.
Fine.
And I had finished my conversation. So what's your problem? Yes? No?
I have no problem.
Good.
I'm married to the most beautiful lady in the world.
You are such a bull. You're also one of the biggest bull persons I've ever known.
I beg your
Okay.
pardon.
You know how to schmooze, baby.
I try my best.
You do good. All right, we're going to call it a day. We're going to end up with something from Itchy Havens, and it's called Handsome Johnny. Speaking of the military, we're going to go out with a military song.
And for all you men out there, don't forget it's Mommy's Day on Sunday. Do not forget your mother and
I
your
get
wife.
no baseball this weekend. Woo! That's the best Mother's Day. Oh, I got to tell you about my Mother's Day plans. My husband's trying very hard to fix our jacuzzi, and we are going to have a lovely private dinner with he and I alone. And then,
the cats and dogs.
And then the cats and dogs, of course. And then time in the jacuzzi together for the first time in probably a year and a half. It hasn't been working. And I'm just really looking forward to that. That's like the best Mother's Day ever. And hopefully we'll get some champagne or something to
Absolutely.
celebrate. All right. So thanks again for joining us. And we'll be back next week, same time, same channel.
Same station.
And stand by for LCM TV News, brought
At
to you
noon.
by Peter. And it'll be at or about noon. You may have to run into a little bit of music holding space for us until we get everything set up.
As we reorganize.
It's a fast, quick change to go from this set to the other set with all the cameras and stuff. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you all next week. This is Lake County Magazine with Terry Larson.
And Pete the Tax Guy.
Thanks. Take care, everybody.
Hey, look yonder, tell me what's that you see? Marching to the fields of Concord. Looks like handsome Johnny with a musket in his hand, marching to the Concord War. Hey, marching to the Concord War. Hey, look yonder, tell me what's that you see? Marching to the fields of Gettysburg. Looks like handsome Johnny with a flintlock in his hand, marching to the Gettysburg War. Hey, marching to the Gettysburg War. And it's a long, hard road. It's a long, hard road. It's a long, hard road. Maybe far will be free. Hey, look yonder, tell me what you see. Marching to the fields of Dunkirk. Looks like handsome Johnny with a carbine in his hand, marching to the Dunkirk war. Hey, marching to the Dunkirk war. Hey, look yonder, tell me what you see. Marching to the fields of Korea. Looks like handsome Johnny with an M1 in his hand, marching to the Korean war. Hey, marching to the Korean war. And it's a long, hard road. It's a long, hard road. It's a long, hard road. Hey, before we'll be free. Hey, before we'll be free. Hey, look yonder, tell me what you see. Marching to the fields of Vietnam. Looks like handsome Johnny with an M15, marching to the Vietnam War. Hey, marching to the Vietnam War. Hey, look yonder, tell me what you see. Marching to the fields of Birmingham. Looks like handsome Johnny with his hand rolled in a fist, marching to the Birmingham War. Hey, marching to the Birmingham War. Hey, what's the use of singing this song? Some of you are not even listening. Tell me what it is we've got to do. Wait for our fields to start glistening. Hey, wait for the bullets to start whistling. Hey, here comes a hydrogen bomb. And here comes a guided missile. Here comes a hydrogen bomb. I can almost hear its whistle. I can almost hear its whistle. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah.
¡Atención! Toda la gente médica, la zona de mi hierba es legal en América. My intention is to get your attention like a corn dog at a mustard convention. So let's go! Dedicated, feeling good, it's my right, so I should. Bloom perks, all kush under 1,001 hood. All organic fat zones with a script you own. It's all cured, all pure up in my cannabis zone. Fuel up, checking my tires in my cannabis zone. Uphill to get the kill like I'm hunting for draw. Alligators on the prowl up in my cannabis zone. Live by the book, I'm on the grind like I'm ready to roll. Only zigzag papers or pate balls, but to vaporize it honestly the purest form. Edibles, a cup of coffee in my cannabis zone. Like 1 through 10 levels of them cannabisoids. Like milligrams to pills, there's levels of THC. The levels of intoxication's up to me. Never on this lead would you ever OD, and it could cure your suicidal thoughts eternally. I should know it cures PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder since my mom left me. I'm a medical patient, connected spiritually up in my zone, off a cannabis tree. You can't stop. Medicated, feeling good, it's my right, so I should. Bloom perks, all kush under 1,001 hood. All organic fat zones with a script you own. It's all cured, all pure up in my cannabis zone. Medicated, feeling good, it's my right, so I should. Bloom perks, all kush under 1,001 hood. All organic fat zones with a script you own. It's all cured, all pure up in my cannabis zone. Medicate myself with pure top shelf. Now it's me at the top of the clientele. Word of mouth spread out, let the clientele. The whole block knows now that the herb is best, but the perks got the push to expand your chest. Make you cough 10 times, maybe lose your breath. Feel the punch and the effect of the confidence that I have on this God-sent Buddha bless. It's my miracle leaf, call it my medicine. In my cannabis cannabis zone. I got my prescription. Call it pot, call it dope in your description. But to me, it's the reason that I'm living and eating. Like my roots, plants' roots are indigenous. For my only mother earth is why I'm hitting this. From my long lost souls and spirits have flowed on in my cannabis zone. Medicated so strong. Medicated feeling good, it's my right, so I should. Bloom perps, all cushion or 1,000 watt hood. All organic fat zones with a script you own. It's all cured, all pure up in my cannabis zone. Medicated feeling good, it's my right, so I should. Bloom perps, all cushion or 1,000 watt hood. All organic fat zones with a script you own. It's all cured, all pure up in my cannabis zone. Native to sativa, always down for that indica. It's an all mind high when you're puffing on sativa, but an all body high when you're puffing that indica. It's your choice to deliver now. Sure, downright focused in my cannabis zone. Sip a coffee, take a couple of gone like the wind when I exhale. Medicated cannabis zone, no frigidity dropping. These third eye flows like flood your home. Full of vision, full of blue and 10 lights to grow. With a formula to make it hard candy to blow. California seed sown in my cannabis zone. I grew trees before the freeze where them buffaloes roam. Governors come and go, but the river still flows. Share my knowledge and my formula. It's my right, so perps, all cushion or 1,000 watt hood. All organic fat zones with a script you own. It's all cured, all pure up in my cannabis zone. Medicated, feeling good, it's my right, so I should. Bloom perps, all cushion or 1,000 watt hood. All organic fat zones with a script you own. It's all cured, all pure up in my cannabis zone.
KTVU's Ken Wayne, live in Oakland tonight with our report. Ken?
Well, Frank, we have new developments out here. We have about 13 Oakland police cars here on the scene where the raids took place earlier today. We're trying to find out exactly what Oakland police officers are doing here right now. Federal authorities, as you mentioned, are being tight-lipped about what they were doing during several raids this morning. Drug enforcement agents showed up around 6 o'clock this morning and broke through the back door of this building. Neighbors say the agents looked like they were on a paramilitary mission, and it frightened some of the onlookers.
Scared my kids, why'd you have to kick in full right gear, the whole door in? Cut all my plants down, left the stems. If your parents were ill, would you do this to them? Would you take all their pain pills and turn them in? Confiscate their belongings and split them in the end. The vultures are tripping off cannabis. There's cocaine and ice cakes, so find them. You're wasting your federal funded dividends. If you touch one of us, then touch one of them. One day you might ask to be a friend, but I don't trust no one, have no friends. Like Houdini, I'll disappear in the wind. Roll away in my wheelchair, I'ma win in the end. As long as there's seeds, I'm ahead of them. If nature cooperates, see you at Oktoberfest.
They filed down the street with their semi-automatic weapons and full riot gear with a battering ram and went in the back door.
A lot of our customers pulled up and looked across the street. Sons got back in the car and took off.
The special agent in charge of the DEA's San Francisco field office revealed little about today's actions.
Leave us alone, we're all medical patients. A prescription allows me to grow these babies. If that canine bites, hope he gives me rabies. So I could slap a lawsuit on the city, maybe, or maybe not. I got my Glock, might think you're the intruder, then pop, pop, pop. No more DEA agents on the spot. Every time they think of us, does the crime rate drop? I don't think so, not even a little bit. Are you stressed out? Then hit it a little bit. Pure Kush, Northern California Bush. We got medical club cards, we don't push. Collective throughout the